A stray dog led a biker to his missing little boy on the highway. It ran in front of the biker's motorcycle on Interstate 40, nearly causing him to crash. The dog wouldn't move, just stood there barking at him frantically. When the biker tried to go around, the dog blocked his path again. That's when he realized this wasn't a random stray. This dog was trying to tell him something. Something that would lead him 5 miles down the highway to the one thing he'd been searching for desperately for 18 hours. His missing 6-year-old son. The story begins 36 hours earlier in Nashville, Tennessee, where Marcus Steele Lawson, road captain of the Night Riders Motorcycle Club, is at his ex-wife's house picking up his son Connor for their weekend together. It's Friday afternoon, 3:30, and Connor comes running out with his backpack and his favorite stuffed dog, a worn German Shepherd toy he's had since he was 2. "Daddy!" Connor yells, jumping into Marcus's arms. The boy is small for 6, with his mother's dark curls and Marcus's gray eyes. He's wearing his favorite shirt, the one with motorcycles on it, and light-up sneakers that flash red and blue when he runs. "Ready for our camping trip, buddy?" Marcus asks, kissing the top of Connor's head. "I packed my flashlight and everything," Connor says proudly. Marcus's ex-wife, Jennifer, stands in the doorway, her arms crossed. Their divorce was messy 2 years ago, full of arguments about Marcus's lifestyle, the motorcycle club, the dangerous people he knew. But they've gotten better at co-parenting. They have to. Connor needs them both. "Have him back by Sunday evening," Jennifer says, "and Marcus, please be careful on that bike with him." "Always am," Marcus says, though the words taste like a lie. He knows Jennifer still worries about Connor riding on his motorcycle, even in the sidecar Marcus specially installed for him. They leave at 4. The plan is to drive 2 hours to a campground near Percy Priest Lake, spend the weekend fishing and roasting marshmallows, just father and son quality time. Connor chatters the whole drive, telling Marcus about school and his best friend Tyler and how he scored a goal in soccer last week. Marcus listens to every word, soaking it in. He only gets Connor every other weekend. Every minute counts. They stop at a gas station 30 miles outside Nashville to fill up and grab snacks. It's 5:15 on a beautiful spring afternoon, the temperature perfect, the sky clear. Marcus parks the motorcycle by Pump 6, helps Connor out of the sidecar with careful hands, and heads inside to pay and use the bathroom. Connor says he's thirsty, wants to pick out his own drink from the massive cooler selection inside. "Stay where I can see you," Marcus tells him firmly, crouching down to Connor's eye level and pointing to the drink coolers visible through the front window. "Don't go anywhere else. I'll be right back." "I will, Daddy," Connor promises, his gray eyes serious. He's a good kid, usually follows rules. Marcus is inside for 4 minutes. 4 minutes to use the bathroom, wash his hands, and pay for $40 of gas at the counter. When he comes out, Connor is gone. The drink cooler door stands open. Connor's stuffed dog lies on the ground by the drink cooler, dropped like Connor was snatched mid-reach. Connor's light-up sneakers are nowhere to be seen. Marcus's blood turns to ice. His vision narrows. Time slows down. He runs through the gas station, checking every aisle, the bathrooms, outside by the air pump. Nothing. "Did anyone see a little boy?" Marcus shouts to the clerk, a teenage girl who looks terrified. 6 years old, curly dark hair, motorcycle shirt? "I didn't see anything," she stammers. "I was counting the register." Marcus calls the police with trembling fingers, his voice barely steady. They arrive in 7 minutes, but it feels like 7, long hours. Officers take his statement while Marcus paces frantically, answering questions through a haze of panic. They get Connor's description down to the smallest detail. The shade of his curls, the pattern on his shirt, the size of his shoes. They pull the security footage immediately, and Marcus watches the screen with his heart in his throat. The cameras show Connor walking toward the drink cooler at 5:16, reaching for the door handle. Then a white van pulls up to the side of the building deliberately, parking in the one spot that blocks the camera's direct view of the cooler area. A man gets out, moves quickly. When the van leaves 30 seconds later, driving away with no urgency. Connor is gone. Just gone. The stuffed dog remains on the ground, the only proof Connor was ever there. License plate is obscured with mud. Deliberate. Planned. The police immediately issue an Amber Alert. Connor Lawson, age 6, last seen wearing a blue motorcycle t-shirt and light-up sneakers, possibly taken in a white van, direction unknown. Every law enforcement agency within 100 miles gets the alert. The highway patrol starts watching Interstate 40. Marcus calls Jennifer. That conversation breaks something inside him. Her screaming, her sobbing, her blaming him for taking Connor, for stopping at that gas station, for not watching their son every single second. He can't even defend himself because she's right. He wasn't watching. He went to the bathroom. 4 minutes. That's all it took for someone to steal his child. The night riders mobilize immediately. Ghost, the club president, calls every member. Within 2 hours, 32 bikers are at that gas station, ready to search. They split into teams, riding every road within 50 miles, checking rest stops and truck stops and abandoned buildings. They put out word to every motorcycle club in Tennessee and neighboring states. When bikers look for someone, they look hard. But 18 hours pass with no leads. Police have nothing. The van disappeared. No witnesses saw anything useful. Connor is just gone, vanished like he never existed except for that stuffed dog lying on the gas station pavement. Marcus hasn't slept. He's ridden 300 miles, checked 50 locations, shown Connor's photo to hundreds of people. Nothing. The sun rises Saturday morning and his son is still missing. Every parent's worst nightmare happening to him. At 10 in the morning on Saturday, Marcus is riding east on Interstate 40, heading back toward Nashville to meet with detectives again. He's exhausted, running on coffee and fear and desperate hope. The highway is busy with weekend traffic, families heading to vacation destinations. His phone keeps ringing with updates from other night riders, none of them good. No sightings, no leads, no Connor. That's when the dog appears out of nowhere, running onto the highway like a guardian angel. Marcus is doing 70 miles per hour in the right lane when a medium-sized dog runs onto the highway shoulder about 100 yards ahead of him, barking frantically in a way that sounds almost human in its desperation. It's a mixed breed, maybe some German shepherd and collie mixed together, with matted brown and white fur that hasn't been groomed in months. No collar visible. Marcus slows down gradually, assuming it's just a stray that wandered onto the highway from nearby woods. Dangerous for the dog, but not his problem right now. He has to find Connor. Nothing else matters in this world. But when Marcus tries to pass, the dog jumps in front of his motorcycle, barking even louder. Marcus has to brake hard to avoid hitting it. The dog plants itself in his path, refusing to move. "Get out of the way," Marcus yells, his nerves shot. The dog barks 3 times, then runs a few feet down the shoulder and looks back at him. Barks again, runs another few feet, looks back. Marcus has seen this behavior before. His grandfather had a cattle dog that would herd like this, running ahead and checking back to make sure you were following. This dog is trying to lead him somewhere. If you believe bikers are the good people, hit that like and subscribe button. Marcus's training as a former Army medic kicks in. When something seems wrong, investigate. When an animal acts unusual, pay attention. This dog is frantic, purposeful. Something is wrong. Marcus gets off his bike and follows the dog on foot. The dog leads him down the highway shoulder for about 50 yards, then scrambles down an embankment toward a small ravine hidden from the road by thick brush. Marcus follows, sliding down the rocky slope. The dog disappears into the brush, still barking. Marcus pushes through the vegetation and emerges into a clearing. That's when he sees it. The white van. The same van from the gas station security footage, parked out of sight from the highway, and sitting on the ground 20 feet away, leaning against a tree with his hands zip-tied in front of him and duct tape over his mouth, is Connor. Marcus's heart stops. His son. Alive. Right there. "Connor!" Marcus runs to him, ripping off the duct tape as gently as he can. Connor starts crying immediately, huge sobs that shake his small body. Marcus cuts the zip ties with his pocket knife and pulls Connor into his arms, holding him so tight he's afraid he'll break him. "Daddy," Connor cries. "The bad man took me. He said he was going to sell me. I was so scared." "You're safe now, buddy. You're safe." Marcus's own tears are falling now, soaking into Connor's hair. "Did he hurt you?" "He didn't hit me, but he was mean. He kept saying I'd never see you again." Connor is shaking violently. The dog sits nearby, watching them. Now that Marcus looks closer, he realizes something. The dog looks exactly like Connor's stuffed German Shepherd toy. Same coloring, same markings. How did this dog know? How did it find Connor? "Did this dog help you?" Marcus asks Connor. Connor nods, wiping his eyes. "She found me last night when the man left me here. She stayed with me the whole time and kept me warm. When I heard motorcycles, I tried to yell, but the tape was on my mouth. The dog ran up to the road, and I think she went to find help." The dog found Connor in the dark, stayed with him through the cold night, then ran onto a busy highway to stop the one person who could save him. Marcus's father. A stray dog nobody wanted, doing what trained search and rescue dogs do, finding a lost child and bringing help. Marcus calls 911 with shaking hands. Then he calls Ghost. Then, dreading it but knowing he has to, he calls Jennifer. "I found him," Marcus says, his voice breaking. "He's okay. Connor's okay." Jennifer's scream of relief is so loud Marcus has to pull the phone away from his ear. She's crying, gasping, asking 1,000 questions. Marcus tells her the police are coming, that Connor will be checked at a hospital, that she should meet them there. He doesn't tell her yet about the zip ties or the duct tape, or the man who said he was going to sell their son. There'll be time for that horror later. State troopers and FBI agents arrive within 8 minutes. They swarm the ravine, photograph everything, process the van. An ambulance takes Connor and Marcus to the hospital, where doctors check Connor thoroughly. Dehydrated, some bruising on his wrists from the zip ties, traumatized but physically unharmed. Marcus doesn't leave his side for a second. The dog rides in the ambulance with them. Connor won't let her go. She sits at his feet the whole way, calm now that her job is done. At the hospital, a vet tech who volunteers there checks her over. No chip, no collar, probably living on the streets for months based on her condition. But healthy enough, just malnourished and matted. "She saved me, Daddy," Connor says from his hospital bed. "Can we keep her?" "Yes," Marcus says immediately, before even thinking about it. "Yes, we can keep her." The investigation unfolds quickly after that. The white van belongs to a man named Raymond Pierce, a 41-year-old with a documented history of drug offenses and assault charges, and a recent obsession with child trafficking forums online that raised red flags with federal investigators. FBI agents find his apartment 50 miles away in a rundown complex and arrest him there before he can flee. His computer contains damning evidence of conversations with other predators across state lines, detailed plans to kidnap children from public places and sell them online to the highest bidders, pricing lists, and transport logistics. Connor was supposed to be his first successful victim. Raymond had tried twice before but failed. Connor was the one he finally got. But here's the twist that makes Marcus's blood run cold. Raymond wasn't working alone. When FBI agents analyze Raymond's computer and phone records, they find he's part of a network. 6 men across 3 states, all planning to kidnap children for trafficking. They have a list. Connor was target number 4. 3 other children had already been taken in the past 2 months. The FBI thought those were unrelated abductions. They weren't. The FBI raids all 6 men simultaneously within 48 hours of Connor's rescue. They find 2 of the missing children alive, held in a basement in Memphis. The 3rd child was already moved out of state, but they trace her location and rescue her 72 hours later from a house in Little Rock. All 3 children come home, all because a stray dog led Marcus to Connor, which led FBI to Raymond, which led them to the entire network. Raymond Pierce gets 5 consecutive life sentences without parole. The other 5 men get between 30 and 50 years each. The FBI seizes computers, financial records, and evidence that leads to 8 more arrests across 4 states. The entire trafficking network collapses. Operation Guardian Angel, they call it. 63 children were on their target list. Connor was number 4. The dog saved them all. 4 years later, Marcus stands in his backyard watching Connor, now 10 years old, throw a tennis ball for Scout. That's what they named the dog, because she scouted ahead and found Connor when no one else could. Scout is healthy now, her coat shining, 65 pounds of pure loyalty and love. Jennifer and Marcus never got back together, but they became real co-parents after that. Some experiences change you. Almost losing your child, having him saved by a stray dog and found on a highway embankment, that puts everything in perspective. They have joint custody now, week on and week off. Connor splits his time between both homes. Scout lives with Marcus but goes everywhere Connor goes. The Night Riders Motorcycle Club became legends in Nashville after Connor's rescue. The local news ran the story with the headline, "Biker's Best Friend." It went national. The club received donations from across the country, enough to start the Connor Fund, which pays for Amber Alert systems and canine search and rescue training programs. In 4 years, they've funded 12 new search and rescue dogs and installed advanced alert systems in 6 counties. Connor speaks at schools now about stranger danger and trusting your instincts. He's not scared of everything, but he's more cautious. He tells kids that if they ever feel unsafe, find the biggest, scariest-looking biker they can and ask for help. Because despite their rough appearance, bikers protect children. Always. The FBI agent who led Operation Guardian Angel, a woman named Special Agent Patricia Morrison, visits the Lawson family once a year on the anniversary of Connor's rescue. She brings reports of the children they saved, the convictions they secured, the trafficking operations they dismantled. Connor saved 62 other children just by being found. That's his legacy. Scout has become a certified therapy dog, visiting children's hospitals and trauma centers. She has a special vest that says "Hero Dog," and Connor walks beside her, telling his story. Kids who've been through trauma find comfort in a dog who understands being lost and scared. Scout sits with them patiently, letting them pet her, showing them that surviving is possible. Marcus rides with Scout in a custom sidecar now, the same one Connor used to ride in. The dog wears goggles and a leather vest with the Night Riders patch. She's an official club member. First dog in the club's 30-year history to get full membership. Ghost himself sponsored her. Raymond Pierce was attacked 7 times in prison in 4 years. Other inmates don't like child predators. Marcus doesn't celebrate that violence, but he doesn't mourn it either. Some people deserve what they get. The gas station where Connor was taken is now a memorial site. The community installed a bronze plaque and a small dog statue that looks like Scout. It reads, "In memory of the children saved by courage, loyalty, and a dog who refused to give up. May all lost children find their way home." Connor still has nightmares sometimes. Therapy helps. Scout helps more. The dog sleeps in Connor's room every night, by his bed, standing guard. She has never missed a single night in 4 years. When Connor wakes up scared, Scout is there, pressing her nose against his hand, reminding him he's safe. Marcus thinks about that moment on the highway every single day. The dog running in front of his motorcycle. Him being annoyed at first, then curious, then following. If he'd ignored her, if he'd gone around, if he'd been in a hurry, Connor would be dead. The FBI confirmed Raymond's plan was to move Connor out of state within 24 hours. They were running out of time. But Scout wouldn't let him pass. Scout made him follow. A stray dog that nobody wanted surviving on the streets somehow found a lost child in the dark, and then found that child's father on a busy highway and led him to the one place that mattered. The Night Riders have a saying now: carved into a wooden sign that hangs in their clubhouse. Trust the dog. Because sometimes the most unlikely heroes wear fur instead of leather. Sometimes salvation comes on 4 legs instead of 2 wheels. Sometimes a stray dog knows things we don't, sees things we miss, understands things we can't explain. Marcus doesn't ride alone anymore. Scout is always with him, in her sidecar, goggles on, tongue hanging out happily. They ride through Nashville and people wave, pointing and saying, "That's the hero dog. That's Scout, the one who saved the boy." Kids ask to pet her. Connor beams with pride. His dog, his best friend, his guardian angel. On Connor's 10th birthday, the family throws a party in the backyard. Both sides of the family, Marcus and Jennifer, cooperating to give their son the celebration he deserves. The Night Riders show up with presents. FBI agent Morrison brings a cake, and Scout sits in the middle of it all, wearing a birthday hat, letting Connor hug her while everyone sings. At the end of the night, when the guests have left and Connor is in bed, Marcus sits on his back porch with Scout lying at his feet. He scratches behind her ears and thinks about fate, about timing, about the impossible coincidences that saved his son. A stray dog that looked like Connor's stuffed toy. Connor dropping that toy at the gas station like a message. The dog finding Connor in the dark. The dog running onto a highway to stop the one motorcycle that mattered. Marcus following instead of ignoring. All of it had to happen exactly that way, or Connor would be gone forever. "You knew," Marcus tells Scout quietly. "Somehow you knew he was mine. You knew I was looking for him. How did you know?" Scout doesn't answer, just looks up at him with brown eyes that hold too much wisdom for a dog. Maybe some things don't need explaining. Maybe some bonds transcend logic. Maybe, just maybe, the universe sends help in the forms we least expect when we need it most desperately. Connor is safe. 62 other children are safe. A trafficking network is destroyed. And a stray dog that nobody wanted became the most important member of a motorcycle club. Proof that family isn't about what you look like or where you come from. Family is about who shows up when everything is burning down. Family is about who refuses to give up, even when giving up would be easier. Scout found a lost boy in the darkness and brought him home. That's what heroes do. And sometimes, heroes have 4 legs, muddy fur, and a heart bigger than anyone imagined possible. Like and subscribe for more stories.